Is like having my own personal.
Maybe one last opportunity, I think it would be down here on the Mississippi River. The fishery is really second to none, and if you have an opportunity to look around, the beauty here is phenomenal. It's the final leg of this event that we've been fishing all summer, and people are in the position to gear up for the Tournament of Champions. Some of them are right on the bubble, others are pretty much guaranteed to go in. On top of that, we have the opportunity to fish against probably 20 or 30 of the best local fishermen in the area. So we're pretty excited to be here. This is a no-cull event, which means we have 6 fish that we put in the live well. Anytime you put 1 fish in the live well, it stays there for the entire day. Normally we're allowed to cull fish, which means you take the largest fish, put it in the well, you throw the smallest one back. You can't do that on the river. Guys have to make a quick decision what they're going to do with that fish. Once it's in the box, you're done. Once you catch 6 fish for the team, you're done for the day.
Welcome to the state's richest tournament fishing event, the Minnesota ProAm Bass Tour. I'm Chip Lear.
And I'm Tommy Scarless. And this is it, folks. It all comes down to the last event here in Winona. We're going to crown a champion, and we're going to have an Angler of the Year. We're even going to find out who the championship field is, Chip.
I'll tell you what, there's a lot on the line today here on the river, so stick with us on the Minnesota ProAm Bass Tour.
The Minnesota ProAm Bass Tour is brought to you by Fox Sportsnet, KFAN Radio, and Media Rare Incorporated.
I've never been on the Mississippi River before, and that was one of the biggest reasons I wanted to fish the Minnesota Pro-Am this year as an amateur, is because I have no idea what to do down here. It's awesome, because you can run forever, and you never see another boat.
The thing I really like about the river is the current plays a strategy, and the whole part of it, you got to figure out how the fish are going to relate to it. Once you can kind of figure that out, it's pretty easy to find them, I think. All the different types of structure, you got man-made wing dams, you got man-made bridges, or otherwise you can go back in the sloughs and fish slop and wood. Your options are endless, and you can do just about anything here.
I'm going to make a run for the money tomorrow. I'm going to gamble. I'm going to go for some bigger fish.
I know I'm going to need at least a 2-pound average to get up in the top 20. My strategy is going for 2-pounders and 3-pounders right away, and hopefully it'll just pan out where I can get a fair limit and hope other guys stumble and I move up the ladder.
I think 6 14-inch fish will get me into the championship. You got to talk to the fish. You just got to tell the fish, hey, this is how it's going to be.
Well, Chip, the anglers seem pretty confident, but that was yesterday. Today's a different story.
Different story completely. The weather's done exactly what these anglers didn't want to happen. Rain hit, thunderstorms overnight, lots of wind today. It's going to be a challenge for them.
It's the angler that's going to make the right decisions and the right calls, and maybe the one that gets a little lucky that's going to come out on top here.
The real hard decisions are going to come for those anglers that are sitting right on the bubble, Tom. The ones that got to decide when to keep those fish, get back to the weigh-in, because they want to make that top 40 for the championship.
Let's roll out to the start and get these anglers fishing.
I am in the high 30s. What I really need to do is catch a good limit of fish. I'm just a little bit nervous about my spot. That's what I'm going through in my mind right now.
There's an anxiety. Been doing this for quite a long time, and it seems like it never goes away. It's what keeps you coming back. Just keep trying.
Here we go. I'm running up to pool 5A from 6, and it does take a little bit of time to go through the lock. The 2 pools are at different levels. The one above us is a lot higher than the one below us. So they have these lock systems, and these doors will actually open. This will adjust up to the level in the lake above us, and then the doors will open up and they'll let us go. Pretty neat system.
It's just a big, slimy, grassy little area. It's probably only about a foot and a half deep. But there are some real nice rocks underneath this grass, and I'm just throwing a small jungle jig over the top of this cover. I got him. That's a big one. There we go. That might make it. I thought it was a little bigger. He's pretty fat. He's pretty explosive, but I think he's going to be a little short. You got to be 14 out here on the river. think she's short. Yeah, she's short by an inch, but it's a good solid largemouth.
Here we are. Throw that top water, Jim, and get that net ready. I believe these fish were up inside these little cuts, and the water's been dropping, and I think they're pulling out onto this, and there's a little current coming out of that little channel there. And when fish move and they get on a spot again, they really bite well. These fish on the river are chasing little bait fish, and they're about the size of that blade there. This flashes through the water. It almost matches the shad or whatever kind of minnow they're chasing around here. With the no cull rule, I got to make a decision whether to throw back a 2-pounder or a 14-incher or whatever comes first. So throw him in the water. I wish it was bigger than that one, but it's good to have a fish in the boat.
We've been here for about 2 or 3 minutes watching Billy Hildebrand from K-Fan Outdoors. Billy is fishing some slop out here with topwater, but the tough thing that he's had to face this morning is that we've got a no-cull tournament, and he's already released 6 or 7 bass over 15 inches. In a no-cull tournament, you've got to make decisions. We're going to stick around and see if he can make the right ones. Oh! Billy Hildebrand just threw back his 7th fish over the legal limit. It's decisions like this will make an angler feel all cattywampus on the inside, and it's also the decisions that make tournament champions.
Maybe I'll call up a few fish. This is home water for me. Morning went pretty good. We put 4 fish in the boat real quick. Paul just caught a 3-pounder, a little 2.5, 3-pounder smallmouth. So we're just pushing for that last fish. I think we can do it. The batteries hold out. Pretty windy.
About 8:30. Hoping the wind will die down a little bit. Fishing a sandbar drop, both large and smallmouth here. This is called the chug bug. It's a topwater bait used on the river quite often. Pretty hard to beat topwater on these sandbars and wing dams like we're fishing. Fish? Fish on. Hang on to her. Where's she at? She's here? Striper. Okay, striper. The cool part about it is we got competition for forage out here. Stripers all over the place, and they're competing with these bass. So with that being said, these fish I think are going to be a little more aggressive, a little more active, and that's proven to be true here so far. You know, when you talk about whether something's active or feeding, a lot of times following birds, watching birds. These birds will come out and they'll start chasing bait fish, they'll look for things on the surface, and that's really a sign that other elements in nature here are probably doing the same thing. Come on, fish, where are you? Fish. Well, I don't know what it is, but... Oh, bass, big bass, big bass. All right. Oh, buddy. Got her? You're in the boat. All right. Oh, buddy. Come on, put her there. Rock on.
The Minnesota ProAm Bass Tour is brought to you by the Minnesota State Lottery and Ranger Boats.
Work is for people who don't know how to fish, and I'm still working.
I'm gone fishing.
You catch the little ones and I'll get the big ones.
I got me a line.
Mike Bruno and Pat Steele are what you call a couple of fishing buddies.
There's a lot in common. We both hate work. We love fishing.
The two hooked up 10 years ago in a fishing club and started a friendship that eventually transcended fishing.
We keep in touch all year round. If I'm not over at his house putting in windows, he's over at my house putting in flooring. And
so does Jill know where you're going to be now this weekend?
Yeah, I told her.
Both have families, but see more of each other during tournament time. But the Minnesota ProAm Bass Tour is a big-time commitment, especially when it's your first year as a pro.
Yeah, we discussed it for quite a bit about going pro. We were going to do it the year before. Stuff came up in our families and stuff, and we decided to go amateur one more year, and then when we did go pro, we do it together, and it'd be a team-type deal.
You got to be some fish here.
They compete individually, but they prepare together, and they split whatever winnings.
She just knocked that out.
When Mike took second place at Lake Vermilion, nobody was more pleased than his old pal Pat.
It's nice, you know, like that last tournament, I finished second.
That was real nice.
So Patrick got a check, I got a check, his wife's happy, my wife's happy, we get to keep fishing.
That makes sense, and after all, fishing is what started this friendship in the first place.
May as well go fishing.
That's a money cast there. It's got to be a fish. We fish good together. I mean, we'll be on a tournament. Mike sometimes will catch all the fish. Next tournament, I'll catch all the fish. And we laugh about it, but who cares who catches them all?
As long as they're coming in the boat.
Yeah, we do good together. We have a good time.
Right now I'm sitting in, I think, 19th place. I'm in good shape for the championship. I think George is more on the bubble, so we'll make sure we get him some fish and get him to Gull Lake. We've got one decent fish in the box right now. Doesn't sound like everybody's catching a whole lot of fish, so 6 fish should get you enough points to get you to the championship if you're on the bubble right now. I got it, George.
Graydon Hansen and I are sharing this spot. It's the only rock around here, and the fish are relating to rock and weeds, and it just looks juicy.
Mike's a good guy,
and I couldn't wait to tell him about this spot.
Mike called me on the phone, and he goes, "Oh, did I find a spot?"
I could just see his mouth drop, and he says, "No way," because I just described the spot that he had found.
One of the most challenging parts about fishing a river system is following fluctuating water levels. The fish follow the fluctuating water levels as they rise up into the weeds in shallow backwater areas such as this to feed. But when it drops, those fish pack and drag, and they actually slide
right out to the main channel itself, or on the edge of the main channel. The angler that moves with those fish is going to make the right moves to put the right fish in the boat and do well at this Winona event. Let's hop aboard Pat Nagel's boat and see what kind of moves he's made today.
Do a time check and let me know how we are.
How about catching a fish? Nope. Time check. 10:40-ish. With our storm overnight, it pushed a lot of silt and dirty water out through into the riverway here, and that pushed all the shad and the bait fish out here off this break line. This break line is pretty sharp, and there's a train coming. And the fish are sitting on the edge of this break line. We came out the first pass, and Brad caught a 4-pounder. There's a little rock spline that comes out there from the bridge piling, and every time we come over, we do get bites. Sometimes they're largemouth, sometimes they're smallmouth. We're at that time of the year where winning the tournament would be great, but qualifying for the championship is pretty important. 3 more.
Okay. I'm in lock 5A right now, heading into pool 6. We had a real good morning. We got off to a great start. 2 big fish right away. Both are smallies off of a shallow wing dam. I got a lot of ground to make up today. I'm hoping that we can get 1 big kicker to help us out big time.
Yeah, we're coming out of Lock and Dam 5A. We're heading out south to Winona. We're going to run the back channel. We're going to go fish some spots I got down here because we need some fish bad.
Fishing the river is a lot of fun, for me anyways. The river changes all the time. You can't get bored fishing the river. Even though we only got one fish today, I mean, we're still trying to figure out what's going on. Boy, he had it. As soon as it hit the water, he exploded on it anyways, didn't he?
My game plan was to run backwise and just see if I could catch 6 keepers. But today it's been very tough for us. Right now we just got 1 keeper in the boat, about a 16-incher. A lot of these fish are pulling out. So I'm pretty sure the wing dam fishermen are going to do pretty well today.
Well, the wing dams are basically rock structures that are made by the Corps of Engineers. They stick out into the river to direct the current so that the barges can continue to haul their loads up and down the river. Fish. Come up here. He's gonna go, isn't he? We're not being picky today. We're taking what we can get. I think a limit will get me in the championship. If I get 2 more, I think I'm gonna head for the weigh-in. This is my first full year fishing the Minnesota ProAm Bass Tour. I've been here for all of them this year and I've really enjoyed it. The most fun I've had on the circuit fishing. I'd be pretty disappointed in myself if I didn't make the championship, so hopefully if I can get that 6 fish today, that'll put me in. And there he is. Fish. I don't know if he's gonna go. It's gonna be close, huh? Yeah, he's not gonna go. That's the river for you.
What we've got going here is a number of spots where we're hoping to pick up 4 more bites and pick up a limit. So let's go find them. Ready?
All right.
Kelly, my amateur partner, is I think he's in 34th place, so he's kind of on the bubble. So our goal today is to try to get enough fish that he can get some points to get him qualified for that Tournament of Champions.
And I am nervous right now because we only got 2 in the box right now and the pressure's on.
It's a little more difficult to fish in the wind here, of course, but with a good strong trolling motor, I've got a 101-pound thrust Minn Kota here. We can hold and fish these. With the wind blowing like this, throwing jigs up in the shallow water, and letting them drift off the rocks. Fish are coming up and hitting it. Should take over up here. I'll measure it. I don't think he's going to measure. We need this guy to be about 1 inch larger in order to get a keeper here. But it was fun to catch.
The Minnesota ProAm Bass Tour is brought to you by Rev Up Energy Drink, Star Tribune, and Yamaha Motors.
About 5 after 12. It's been a little bit tough going. Fish are kind of few and far between. The ones that we do catch are kind of on the small side, but we're just going to keep pounding our spots and hopefully we can scratch up, 3 or 4 more fish.
The smart thing to do would just be to just get a limit and hope for a top 40 finish to make the championship. But guy likes to come in with a nice bag of fish. He's right behind the boat, right there where your frog is. Just kind of twitch it through real slow. There we go. It's like a 3rd strike that fish came back. That's a good fish on the river. We'll take it. I mean, that's the kind of fish a guy needs. Right there.
Number of boats is counting down. Over $33,000 we're giving away this afternoon, and one gentleman from North St. Paul, Minnesota wants a shot at that. Troy Barrett, along with Rich Taylor of the Taylor Fishing family. And 16.84 launches you into 1st place. Andy Los, anybody out here who want to help you weigh these fish? Kyle Schuda from Stacy, Minnesota is your co-angler for the day. And together, both gentlemen that don't use one razor a year end up with 18.02. Holy man, Winona! Who's coming up, Chip? From Alma, Wisconsin, rookie pro Brian Brecka and Chuck Fields from Brainerd, Minnesota, second year as a co-angler on the tour. Ladies and gentlemen, these bass baits keep getting bigger and bigger. Currently leading is 18.02, and I need a confirmation on that weight from our weighmaster, Danny Suggs. 18.82 is your new tournament leaders right here. Going to launch it into first place. Guys, I can't believe the size of these bags. That's awesome.
We're going to bring up the last boat to weigh now, Chip, coming up on stage. This is Brian Fitzpatrick. Brent Seehusen. Right now, Brian, 18.82 is leading the tournament. The worst they can do behind you is second. You're trying to knock them out, and you can't. You've got 17.66. There are your new Winona, Minnesota ProAm Bass Tour champions.
Your Winona River, Minnesota ProAm Bass Tour champion, Brian Becca, Chuck Fields. And ladies and gentlemen, your 2002 Pro Angler of the Year, Seth Fire! Come on, Fighter, let it go, baby!
It's a great honor. It's kind of my goal for the year because I made tournament champions last year, so try to set my goals a little bit higher, and I accomplished it. And now I'm going to go pro next year and see what happens there.
And ladies and gentlemen, your 2002 Angler of the Year on the Minnesota ProAm Bass Tour, Mr. Brad Leiperman.
It's been quite a year, and I'm pretty proud. You just can't go out and go fishing and win a title like this. It requires you to be very versatile. You can't be a one-method Pete, is what we used to call them, where you just throw a spinner bait or you just throw a crankbait. You have to really learn how to like all techniques. I've been doing this a long time, and that experience is really what's given me the opportunity to hunt for the Angler of the Year title. Because as long as I can do it, I'm going to keep coming at them. I have a lot of support from my family, and next year's another year, and we'll be there.
Wow, Chip, what a fitting finish to a great year. Congratulations to our Anglers of the Year. On the pro side, Brad Leiferman, and on the co side, Seth Fighter.
It took a great event on the Winona, Mississippi River here. Third place, Brian Fitzpatrick and Brent Seehusen with 17.66 pounds. Andy Los, Kyle Schuda put it together for over 18 pounds of bass.
And the big story, Brian Becca and Chuck Fields, 18.82 pounds, pull off the victory here on a tough river bite.
We're heading to the Tournament of Champions, and congratulations to all the anglers that are going to go to the great Gull Lake in northern Minnesota, Craigan's Resort. We hope you join us for the championships at the Minnesota ProAm Bass Tour.
Tournament oxygenation systems provided by Aqua Innovation. Tournament apparel provided by